But hi, welcome to the stream on a Friday night. Again, we're here with the Above Yellow Line crew. We're gonna talk about some NASCAR news. We're here with Steven as well, so I'm very excited to talk to him about his debut in the Truck Series at Mid Ohio. If you can't tell, well, I guess I kind of cut myself out of frame for a reason. I have this really bad farmer's tan here that I'm trying to hide from covering the race at Mid Ohio, which was such a cool experience. And we'll talk about that. Dom's going to join a little bit later. He was able to cover the race at Atlanta. We'll talk about, what it's like covering a race for media. Obviously, we're going to talk to Steven about his Truck Series debut. We're going to talk to everybody else about all the crazy, silly season stuff. Obviously, wanting your opinions on that and everything. But yeah, I guess, I'll start with kind of, if you guys have any questions, let me know, but how covering the event went for me, at least, because we'll focus a little bit more, on that when we talk to Steven on the Mid Ohio. But in terms of covering a race, wild. First off, it's something I've gone to races before, as like you and me. We've all gone to the races before, whether it's a short track, NASCAR event, whatever it may be. But covering it for media was very obviously very, very different and really exciting. I don't think I sat down after the first half of the first day. I don't think I sat down for more than like 10 minutes, really. I was on my feet all day long. And then, of course, for Saturday for the truck race, I was taking photos all day long. And that was a new experience for me, too. So that was a lot of fun. I got some really good shots of the ARCA race, and I got a really good shot too of Parker Kligerman and Victory Lane. It was really cool to see him win and getting to talk to him post race was also very exciting too. Even though so fun fact about the whole race weekend. So I did not have a scanner. So that is mistake number one that I made. You need to have a scanner when you're walking around the track to try to catch up all the action. But my assignment that weekend was really photography. And if I could get interviews with some drivers here and there, that definitely was the goal too. I have a funny Matt DiBenedetto story for later. But I was really in charge of taking photos, so I wasn't really keyed in on the race. The only thing I knew that was happening is when I was taking photos either in turn 12 or coming out of the start-finish line, I just knew who was in the lead at that point. But then, of course, went back in, read how the race went, and it was all good. But it was so much fun to watch and just to kind of experience race, covering a race as media for the first time. It was very different but very cool. I guess I'll save my Matt DiBenedetto story for later. But if you guys have any questions, comments, anything you guys want to talk about real quick before we bring in the rest of the gang, let me know. I appreciate you all being here on a Friday night. Hello, the two nerds. What is up? Thanks for joining the stream. I greatly appreciate it. Gabe, what is up? Good to hear you guys in the chat. Or I guess see you guys in the chat. That's what I should say. But yeah, we'll talk about, like I said, some silly season news, wanting to get your opinions on all the craziness that's going on. If there's other NASCAR news you guys want to bring up too, we'll all kind of talk about it later. I did a really weird segment on Twitter. Not really a weird segment, but like I did a there are 10 but type thing. It was like that trend. I'm kind of sick of it, but I had to throw my hat in the ring there to do it. And I got a lot of responses. I think we'll go through those later too, just to kind of see, what is worthy of a 10 and what's going to drop your rating down to a 5. If you don't know the trend, it's all over TikTok. Go to TikTok. We all enjoy that. But let me see. Can I bring in a friend? Adam, can I bring you in? Yes? Okay, I'm going to bring Adam. Oh, hold on, Dom chat. Well, hold on, I'm bringing Adam for a second. Okay, Adam, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm trying to read what Dom's comment was.
I know. The ATYL mascot is very mad at me, so I will join once they. Oh, okay. So if you guys don't know, so I have a dog. Her name is Daisy, and she is the true ATYL mascot. She has not been in a video yet or in a live stream because I'm not with her all the time. But however, Merida, Dom's dog, that we also call Tiny, has been in the live streams before, and apparently she is causing some issues. So we will definitely make sure that that we get her in. So let's see another comment. So who do you guys have to win this weekend? That is a really good question. Let's see, who do I have to win this weekend? I mean, Almirola is a good bet in my opinion. I mean, of course he won kind of on strategy last year, but I don't know, like I think he has a good shot. Harvick, I think, would have a good chance. I mean, for me, Chase Elliott runs off of momentum, so I think Elliott too. But I'm also going to be looking at the Penske guys. I think for me, New Hampshire is kind of a Ford track, in my opinion. That's kind of how I see it. So I'd be looking at them a little bit. So yeah. let's see. Let's see other comments. I got an SHR car winning this weekend. Yep. I would say SHR2 has a really good shot. Harvick, I would love to see a Harvick win. Let's see. Adam, do you want to see a Harvick win? Do you think that's possible?
Heck yeah, I want to see it, but is it possible? I don't know. I really don't know. I think this stretch of races we're coming to, I think I mentioned it either on our stream or in private chat, that I think this is where Harvick starts to get his mojo going and can possibly pull out a win. So let's hope. Let's hope.
I would love nothing more, quite honestly. I just miss Harvick winning. You know, I do want someone else's opinion on this. I think I'm going to bring Steven in. Made his Truck Series debut over last weekend. Very exciting. So Rayum's Racing, number 43, Steven Mallozzi, bringing in, bud. What is up?
Hi. How is everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm living the freaking dream, you know?
Living the dream. Well, it's good to have you in. If you guys also don't know, I'm sure you guys know this, but also a writer at TobyChristie.com, part of the TC team. So really glad to have you. First, I want to get your opinion first on, do you think we could see a Harvick win this weekend, or who do you think has a good chance?
So it's funny. I actually do. I also make betting content for the Action Network. That's another thing that I do.
Okay.
Very, very well-arranged guy. And I actually filmed my video last night for them for New Hampshire. And the 3 bets that I picked that I thought were good were anything Eric Almirola.
Good.
Harvick to win. And they had a prop bet that was a Ford 1-2 finish. And that was at, I think, plus 900. So those were the 3 bets that I listed as my bets to pick. So I think Stewart-Haas has a good shot at winning. I think this is going to shock people, and I hate that I'm saying it because it grosses me out. I think a Custer top 10 bet would also be a good one. Because they're I think it was at plus 350 or plus 400, and he has been pretty god awful this season.
Yeah.
But Stewart-Haas has shown that they bring fast race cars to New Hampshire. So I could see it happening.
Part of me wants to see it happening because he needs luck. He needs something good happening in his life on the track. So I want to see it happen. Before we move on, I feel like we need another opinion. I got to bring in Dom Joseph. Let's see. Can I bring you in? Oh, he is ready. He is ready. Dom, what is up?
Is my mic on? Am I here?
You're here.
Did I do everything right? Okay, good.
You're here, bud. What's up?
Howdy. I'm here. The mascot is going back and forth between myself and Kaylee. She can't decide who to bark at, so you probably will hear from her at some point during the there she goes.
I love it. That's okay.
She's voicing her opinion.
Voicing her opinion. She does not want an SHR win. Do you think SHR has a fair shot this weekend?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. Negative answer.
Yeah. No, I mean, if we're being realistic, the way this season has gone, no.
Okay.
It's like I'm happy to see Briscoe get a win because he was due for a win.
True.
Harvick is overdue for a win. I just don't think it's going to come. I just don't see it.
See, that's depressing on a Friday night. You can't do this.
Well,
you can't walk into this chat and be depressing.
Look at the hat. What else do you expect?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're wrong branding for the weekend, but Well, I wanted to get into talking.
It's my McLaren Mercedes.
I know. Yes. I was about to say. Well, I wanted to get into Steven talking to you a little bit about your background. So first off, you are a student at UVA, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So first off, what are you studying? And is it hard to balance that racer and student kind of lifestyle?
Yeah, so I am an economics major with an intent to go to law school.
Oh, good for you.
Wow. I am entering my 4th year, so I'm actually graduating in the fall. It'll be my last semester there. And is it tough to balance? Yes and no. So I continued even after I stopped go-kart racing to work in the field. I commentate go-kart races. Actually now I commentate for ESPN too. I do some stuff over at the ACC network in Virginia. So I call a lot of Virginia college sports.
Nice.
But I also mechanic. I drive or coach kids because, obviously I went through that 13 to 17-year-old phase that a lot of tuners and mechanics don't understand. And now I'm at that age with that personality where I can kind of mesh with the kids and talk to them about how to drive better. So I always stayed involved in racing. And obviously when I started going to UVA, that was difficult because I had to drive 4 hours to get to most of the races that my teams were going to. But then COVID hit. And COVID made everything kind of remote. So it was actually quite easy. And when I figured out that I was going to move to Charlotte, I never even missed a beat with school because I just took my classes from the shop or from my house apartment thing in Charlotte and figured it out,
Yeah, so it's not that bad. I feel like COVID was bad in a lot of ways, but it allowed things to be more remote. So it allowed for more opportunities. And, hearing that was helpful for you in some way is also good to hear. I will say you, from my gauge of what I got on like Friday, Saturday, you have one of the best personalities of anybody in that garage. Just saying.
Well, if you want to know the truth, I'm not sure how much that says. There are some really just bland people in NASCAR these days. And that's really problematic to me, right? Because think about football, basketball, baseball, hockey, any other sport. People are territorial, right? I'm from Philadelphia. So I root for the 76ers, the Eagles, the Flyers, the Phillies. It's easy. It's natural. And by the way, your parents also grow up a fan of a team. That team is still there when their kids grow up. So it passes on from generation to generation. NASCAR drivers don't work like that. Bill Elliott, it might have been – my dad didn't watch NASCAR, but I'm saying if my dad was a Bill Elliott fan, Elliott's retired by the time I'm understanding NASCAR. So maybe I end up a Chase Elliott fan, but it's a lot more difficult to make that transition happen. So I think that personality is something we need. The problem is as racing becomes more money-based, it becomes more difficult to allow people who are talented with personality to get into seats as opposed to people who are just wealthy. Which, I'm not trying to razz on anybody who's made it in racing or take away from anything that they've done, because obviously everybody has an impressive resume if you make it as far as the Camping World Truck Series. But there is definitely something to be said that, like, Kevin Harvick had a harder path to NASCAR than Ricky Stenhouse Jr. There's a big difference between the ways that they made it in the sport. And like it's a difficult continuation as the sport continues to progress and as things become more and more entertainment based as opposed to racing based, because it's a whole ordeal. It used to be a bunch of guys in the 70s, 80s who were fixing up their own hot rods and showing up to a racetrack, and now it's a little different than that.
And I'd say that's one of the problems I have. And we've talked about it on the live stream before too, but it's been a while. But just how everything is so money based now, and you don't see guys that are just, that have that good personality. They have the raw talent to be a race car driver, and you don't see them in those top spots. And you're like, I wonder why. Well, you see somebody who has a really big sponsor. Maybe they're not ready for a top tier ride, but they get it anyways because they have the money for it. And obviously, I don't want to call anybody out because there's a lot of journeys maybe I don't know or don't understand, but it sucks to see when there's guys out there that deserve the ride and they don't get them. So
yeah, and like for me, so I spent years in go-karting, and my dad backed me up, but he didn't back me up like the way he had money, and I come from a very well-off family, but not well-off in terms of racing, like not multi-millionaire family, like good enough to spend some money, but not good enough to go where all the big guys were going. So when I was racing, we were racing against the Latifis, and like the Latifis would bring literally a NASCAR-sized hauler to go-kart races. And I remember racing against Matt in Florida, and we actually beat him out for the last spot on the podium that event.
Nice.
They had guys devoted to doing tire pressures, like on their own. Meanwhile, my dad, who is a lawyer, was learning how to do all this junk as a mechanic for the first time and doing everything he needed to do to get a kart running. So there's a really big difference in terms of what financials can do, because obviously it costs a lot of money to get to the racetrack. So when I had originally left karting, it was because my dad got diagnosed with cancer. And obviously our lives changed a lot. They gave him 6 months to live, and racing kind of fell to the back burner. And after a little while, I decided I wanted to stay involved in the sport. So I was like, let's do it. Started working, started wrenching, started commentating, whatever I could to just stay around the sport of racing. And a few years later, it's 2021, and I'm sitting outside of my room, and I'm just pissed. It's like 3 days after my birthday in January or something.
When's your birthday?
15th.
20th.
It's probably right around this story is probably right around the 20th.
Okay, well.
So my dad walks in and is like, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm like, Dad, I never got my shot. And he looks at me stone cold, and he knows how to push my buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, dude, you gave up. You never tried after I got sick. I mean, you talk about how you never got your opportunity. Well, you expected it to be handed to you. And I'm like, well, shit, you're kind of right. Like, that's sort of true. So what had happened is I had worked probably 5 or 6 jobs throughout high school and early college just to stay busy. I mean, COVID was tough on everybody, but I delivered a lot of pizzas during COVID.
Oh boy. Oh yeah.
So I had saved up about 15 grand. And I one day walked in right when the pandemic started, and I saw my dad's stock portfolio, and it was ugly. And he's like, actually, son, this would be a great time for you to invest. So I threw it all in there and ended up with somewhere in the range of $65,000 to $70,000.
Whoa!
It is time. Not only have I now had the motivating moment, the comment that gets me going, but I also now have at least some financial capital to try and do this. I start making phone calls, emails, whatever the hell I can do. And a truck series owner who I will not name asks me to go out and race for him in California for a driver development academy that he had formed. And Adam might know who it is because he's smiling a little bit here. Maybe you know just by the California hint. But I was so psyched, and I'm like, what's it going to cost? Like 250 grand. I'm like, okay, let's try and work towards that. I'm like, we can see what we can do, find some sponsors. So I work around, and I didn't know anything about the ins and outs of NASCAR at this point. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm doing in the world. Like, what's going on here? Like, what's the industry actually like? So I start making phone calls, and I can't get anybody to bite. It's kind of like an actual sponsorship chase. You don't really get a lot of answers. And one of the people I had met over my years of life experiences was the 76ers commentator, Mark Zyloware. And I decided to email him, my favorite commentator of all time. I literally just walked up to him at a game and told him my story, and he gave me his email address and said, email me every 6 months, and I did. And
that's cool.
We were pen pals. I told him about this opportunity. He's like, dude, that is awesome. I am so happy for you. I don't know anything about NASCAR, so I'm going to forward you to an NBC reporter who does. Puts me on an email chain with Michael Carey, former ToberChristie.com writer.
Yeah.
Michael Carey, who is also a Philly guy, we go and get cheesesteaks, we talk a little, adds me on an email chain with Josh Rayon and some man I've never heard of named Peter Salino. What the hell Peter Salino does to this day, no idea. But he calls me up about 5 minutes. Josh never answers the email. It still hasn't answered the email. Probably never read it. 5 minutes later, Peter Salino calls me without hesitation and says, do not give blank blank a fucking dime. Sorry for the language. I forgot the podcast. But that's what he said. That's the quote. I'm not going to tone it down. And he's like, I want you in Charlotte in 5 days.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, well, I don't know you, but what do I got to lose? So I literally packed up my stuff in Charlottesville. This is April, I think, so we're still in school, but everything's online.
Yeah.
So I pack up my stuff, and he gives me an address, and I show up to some guy's house, and I'm there. And he's like, this is where we're going to live. There's a bottom half of the house. There's the top half of the house. Top half is mine. They don't connect. Bottom half is yours. Enjoy. I'm gone 3 out of 4 weeks. I'm a traveling salesman, great guy. He was my landlord. So I move in. Monday morning, I get a text. It's an address. Peter tells me to go pick him up. I'm going to meet Peter Salino, I guess. Let's see what happens. Go on down, pick him up. He is this shorter, stoutly Italian dude. Like, Mallozzi is Italian, but Salino is a different level of Italian.
Yeah.
Dom, you were very Italian.
Yeah.
And yeah, right?
The Salino. Oh, boy.
He puts in an address in my GPS. Yeah, I swear to God, that's exactly who he's got the beard and everything. It's like, holy moly, this guy is so he gets in my car, which I had also, another thing I did to get funds is I had 2 cars at the time. I drove an 09 Challenger, which was my first car and the love of my life. It was an SRT8. I loved it. And then I had a 13 Charger, and I put more miles on that. It was not quite as nice as the Challenger. I had sold the Challenger to kind of get extra funds to come down and do this. And I was heartbroken. So he gets in my Charger. He sits down. And he's like, this is a piece of shit. I'm like, thanks, Peter. Well, thanks. He's like, puts in an address in the GPS. We drive. We get there. We pull up. It's Rayon Brothers Racing. So I get out. I walk in the front door. I sit. He says, sit here. And it turns out that was Josh Rayon's office.
Oh.
In walks Josh and looks at me and goes, who the hell are you? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just some guy from New Jersey.
You're like, I was just told to be here. I don't know what's happening.
Exactly. So in walks Josh, or in walks Peter, meanders in, and he goes, give this kid a job. He's going to drive for you one day. And I spent that day unwrapping Jesse Iwuji's number 34 truck. And I remember feeling kind of starstruck. The next day, Josh made me drive a trailer, and I ended up taking out all of Mike Harmon's mailboxes. So that was a good time. But anyways, every single one of them gone. And the first week I was at COTA, they all made fun of me for it. But about a month later, maybe a month and a half, Josh and I had come to an understanding that I had always wanted to drive. And they knew why I wanted to drive too. And my objective had never been to make it big in NASCAR. It had been one start just for my dad to be around to see it. Because he's been around 6 years, which is 10 times longer than he was expected to be.
That's incredible.
And actually 12 times longer than he's expected to be. And I'm like, he spent all this time and money funding my karting career. So let me try and pay him back. And Josh and I had come to this understanding that was my objective. And on the way back from Knoxville, he asked me to ride in the hauler with him. And that's really where we built a relationship where I think he became serious about helping me get behind the wheel of a truck. And we actually came to find out that we had both had a similar background in karting. He went to Rotax Grand Finals. I went to Rotax Grand Finals. We progressed up. We tried to get into stock cars, and then we just decided, hey, let's jump up to the big show. And he got really emotional talking about it. And Josh is like a super goofy guy. So to get those sentimental moments out of him, they're not common, but they do happen. He's like, I know how much my dad meant to me, so I couldn't imagine, going through that myself. And it was a couple of weeks later when we decided to launch the driver development program. I did a bunch of late model starts at Hickory, at Florence, at Dillon, and then I submitted my approval this season to NASCAR. And Josh cut me a huge break on the truck ride because I had obviously worked for him all summer. It was a whole summer deal, and he made it clear to me that he just wanted to make it happen. And it was about a week before I had gone down to get fitted for the seat and get my suit stitched up, and we're traveling around getting parts for the next gen, the Team Hesburgh next gen. And he looks at me and he goes, I want you to know something, Mallozzi. He's like, I think I'm going to get pretty emotional in those moments between the national anthem and the green flag. He's like, because for me, I think this is going to be one of the 5 proudest moments I've ever had as an owner. I'm like,
wow.
Damn it, you're making me cry, man. And he actually sent me probably one of the best texts I've ever gotten, right as I got in the truck. So I couldn't see it until after I had gotten out. And it was the whole thing was super emotional. And I'll never I'll never be able to pay Josh Rayon for what he did for me. And that's like, he's one of those guys in motorsports where when you get to know him, you realize he might be one of the best guys in motorsports. He might be the best guy in motorsports. He's just out here like everybody else trying to make it. And he still finds ways to help those who want to make something happen.
No, that is awesome. I mean, because when I interviewed you after the race, you were incredibly emotional. I wanted to ask, was your dad at the track?
Yeah, and there are some pretty unbelievable pictures that a couple photographers had actually captured of me and my dad hugging after the race, and you can see like at a couple of the shots I'm in tears, like I'm crying, and then the shot changes as we go in for a hug, and you can see he's holding back tears too, and it was just it was super emotional to get out, especially to have finished 22nd.
No, yeah, you finished the best amongst the other. Well, you were one of 5 drivers that were making their debut. You finished the best out of them, and then 22nd. I was telling you, when your first start.
Yeah, and
not a lot of people can do that.
It's funny. We actually had 18th in the bag, and what had happened was I'm a little unhappy about it, but I'll tell a story anyway, I guess.
Go for
it. With 2 to go, we're in front of like Crafton, Di Benedetto. They're like 6 seconds back of us because they had problems within the last 2 laps. And for some reason, 15 laps down, my teammate in the 33 decides he wants to try to pass me in turn 2. Like, you know what? I don't really care. Just go. Just don't even worry about it.
That sucks.
Well, then he changes his mind. And going down the straightaway, he pulls over and lets me by. Like, okay, I guess I'm passing him. But then Taylor, Adam, and Dom, I pull up alongside him and he starts giving it some beans. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So now we're racing down towards 3 or 4, whatever you call the hard right-hander.
Yeah.
And I had brake fade from about 20 laps to going on. So I had been really doing a nice job, especially in the high speed stuff of pumping it, getting the fluids going. And I was so busy racing Kenko that I didn't do it. And I go to the pedal and there is nothing. I'm like, holy shit.
Oh, no.
I'm done. I'm going like 156 miles an hour. I'm going to crash into the wall just like Justin Marks is, except I'm not going to make it. I'm done. I don't even know. So the first time we had crashed in oil, there was no saving it because it was oil, right?
Right.
This time I'm like, I can't get stuck in the gravel trap or else we're toast. Like we really are going to get stuck and then we're not going to be able to finish. And I'm going to cry myself to sleep for the next 36 days. And kept my foot in it. So we got it out, but then I stalled it.
Oh.
And that is heartbreak because we had not started that 43 truck once the entire weekend without a jump box. And obviously.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. I obviously do not have a jump box with me. That is about half a mile that way in pit road. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, we are effing done. Like this
I appreciate it.
Yes, this is it. We are out of the race. And my spotter, PJ, who is going to love the fact that I'm giving him another shout out, thick Southern accented guy, comes on the radio and say, all right, man, calm down. We got it. Just turn off all those fans, get her fired up. I'm like, that is the most NASCAR accent I have ever heard.
Oh my God.
So then I say, dude, it doesn't matter. We haven't gotten working all weekend. In comes Josh on the radio now, who's like, Mallozzi, just do what he says. Turn them off, get it fired up. So I turn all the fans off, turn everything off.
Right.
Turn on the ignition, flip on the starter. I'm like, no, it's not gonna do it. I'm telling you. Turn it off, flip it back on one more time. Explodes. I'm like, yeah, baby, here we go. We're going to get going again. We got it going, and we still finished 22nd on the lead lap. My goal was a lead lap finish, and we did it. But I will say I am frustrated because 18th is a top half finish. we were Timmy Hill was wounded at the end of that race.
Yes. Oh my
God.
God.
And I feel like there was a shot we could have gotten him at the end. So we were really fighting that 18th, 17th, but beggars can't be choosers. 22nd is 22nd. I'm good with that. Thank you, NASCAR Fantasy Live. I really thought that I had to give these people a rant there. Toby made the mistake of calling me literally 35 seconds after I got out of the infield care center.
Why?
He's like, I don't think he knew because I had joked I had to go in and get weighed. So I had joked with the infield care center people like, hey, I hope I don't see you again. And an hour later in I waltz.
Yeah.
After, crashing. And Toby calls me, and I had just literally in between the time I got back to the truck in the infield care center, I had actually had 2 spotters walk up to me and tell me like, yeah, dude, we're sorry. That wasn't your fault. Like the 46 blue oil everywhere.
Okay.
I am so mad right now. I'm going to lose my mind. I don't have the money for crash damage. So,
oh my God.
So I looked down at my phone, and who was calling me but Toby Christie. I'm like, all right, you know what? This is it. I'm not one to hold my punches, it's coming out. So the quote I had actually originally given Toby was much more strongly worded than the one he ended up using because
I figured it was.
I had to alter what I said a little bit. But in the end,
on the sleeve.
It seemed like most people tended to agree with what I had to say, I think.
Yeah.
And that made me feel a little bit better about saying it. And obviously a lot of people are in a position where they can't. I feel like some people like Dave Moody disagreed. He thought I was in no position to say that. He tweeted something along the lines of make 15 laps before you talk about other teams, to which I responded, Dave, I really tried to make 15 laps, but they blew an oil line. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I get you.
It's one of those things where I'm who wanted to make a start, right? And like I am one of the least mechanically inclined people in NASCAR, I feel like, yet I think I could hang an oil line after 3 tries. Because they brought it to the track once, fell apart, brought it to the track again, put it back together, it fell apart. 3rd try, it seems like they finally got it, but the motor still blew on lap 9. So, I mean, I don't really know. The G2G stuff was really dramatic. I will say the finger point thing is one of my favorite memories of all time. I think that got shared amongst all my family and friends, and they all loved it. So it's funny. It turns out that that's something I've been doing all throughout my karting career as well.
Oh, seriously?
I look back at some photos, and University of Virginia actually found a picture of me when I was in Portugal racing for the United States doing this, right? And then I found one of me at Nationals a year later in the cart going down the straightaway doing this at the photographer. I'm like, wow, I've been doing this move for as long as I can remember. So
it's an automatic thing.
Yeah. And it was a tough experience when it happened, but at the end of the day, it's something that I'll very clearly remember. And I think it makes the story all the more incredible. Like, hey, not only did I get into a little bit of a war with the NASCAR team in my first race, I also got some nice publicity from that. And it makes the story even better because you have a damaged race truck and you bring it home lead lap in 22nd. We didn't even buy new tires in stage 2. We put on practice scuffs. That's why we lost a lap. And we got the lucky dog, and we ended up back in the lead lap. So stage 3, we used your new set. I didn't have enough money to buy more than 2.
Oh my! I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Dude, see, then that makes it more impressive.
Yeah.
My God. Well, gosh, congrats on the finish that you had, the day that you had. I think that.
Sorry, my seat. I'm in a hotel right now. I'm in Syracuse, and the seat just. I'm actually here for a go-kart race. The seat just fell.
Look at you.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you. Well, we have a few questions in the comments. So, first question from Caleb Watkins. He says, "How many trucks does Rayon Brothers have?"
Oh, in the whole stable, obviously they run 2, right? In the whole stable, we've really grown it. I don't know the answer to that anymore. I know what it used to be, but I know that Josh has really invested a lot into growing the equipment.
Yeah.
And making it better. And we've got some pretty solid stuff in our stable. Like a few years ago, I mean, we had like 5 trucks, like for the whole,
That's pretty good.
for the whole operation. It was a lot different. Now we've got a ton. Now, like not a ton. We're not a GMS or a Nice or a KBM, but like we've got enough to survive as a small team if something happens to one of them because of the equipment that Josh has ended up building. So it's a great question, Caleb. I'll ask Josh and we'll see what he says. And then I'll tell her message you in a comment or something. Be like, yeah, we've got this many.
Yeah, I'll get back to you. If you guys have any other questions in the comments, feel free to put them out there. If you guys have any opinions you want us to talk about, I see some in the comments too. Let us know. Let's see. We have another comment. Mitchell Simpson said, "I love this. I am PJ's grandpa in WV. He lived a first time in NASCAR 2 and was in Cloud 9. Thanks, Steve, for making this happen for him. He's NASCAR to the bone."
So let me tell you something, Grandpa Simpson. Okay, PJ actually spotted my late model, and
okay,
he that's why he was on the list of people I wanted to spot for me. So he had come all the way. Like he always made time, no matter how tired he was always willing to work for that opportunity. And that was so awesome. And I can't express how much I appreciate people like PJ who were willing to help just come to the racetrack and learn and help me. Because obviously spotting what was at the time a very slow late model, getting lapped every 15 laps, was not an easy task to do. You know, that's not
right.
At a short track, that's pretty difficult. So PJ always handled it with grace and was like a pleasure to have. And he's always super funny and just a great personality kid. So right back at you. He helped me make it happen. So
we also have another comment. Got to give a shout out to our friends, Seriously Fast Media. Got to meet them this weekend. There was a lot of us covering our first race and also in our first race this weekend. It was great to meet you guys too. And then they also said, awesome to see you guys get that lead lap finish. So thank you guys for commenting that too.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely awesome to see us get a lead lap finish. Obviously we'd had definitely we definitely had our concerns about, finishing on a lead lap and there's a lot of backstory too to the drama behind even getting approved to run in the truck series that I'll save for another day. But it was just, to actually make it happen. And think about who we beat.
It's crazy.
Literally a year to the date prior to Mid-Ohio, I think we were in Nashville and I was pushing Lawless Allen's truck on pit road. And then I go on in Mid-Ohio and I beat Lawless Allen. And like that to me is like, it's not like I was like, okay, let's go beat Lawless Allen.
Right.
But it's like one of those things where it's Lawless was somebody that I had known and I've been like, hey, this is freaking cool that he's doing this. Like, and then, you go out there and you finish in front of him and it makes it all the more surreal. Like Ben Rhodes hosted the rookie meeting. And I know he had some mechanical issue. I'm not sure really what it was with that 99. But we finished in front of the defending series champ. And that is really cool. That's That's
big time.
Yeah, that is something that you're going to have to just carry with you for the rest of your life. And then I guess the other question is, do you know when you're going to be making your next truck start?
I don't know if I'll ever make another truck start. For know the truth.
Okay.
NASCAR is one of those things where I had always gone into it and said, I want to do it once for my dad to see it. And that was an impossible dream. If you had asked me 2 years ago if I thought I could do it, I would have said no. And it's now that I understand the sport more, let me ask you guys a question. I'll be impressed.
Okay, go for it.
How many people have ever made a NASCAR start in one of the 3 national series?
How many?
Out of all the people that have tried, small percentage.
I was going to say out of entry lists, a very few have actually gotten the start.
It's about 3,300 in the history of NASCAR. And you think about it, most of that number was from the 50s, 60s when you could show up in your street car and enter a race.
Yeah.
Now you think about it, right?
That's
There's
nuts.
114 seats in all of NASCAR's 3 major series. And at any given time over the past 20 years, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin have held at least one of those seats. That's basically 4% of NASCAR held up by 4 guys. So it's impossible to get here. And like we talked about at the beginning, with the money side of things becoming more and more difficult, it's really difficult to find sponsors. And I think in the 2 weeks between finding out getting in the truck and the week before Mid-Ohio, I probably sent 2,200 emails.
Ooh, all
I
right.
heard back from maybe 50 of them. And they were all no's in terms of sponsorship. The sponsor I ended up getting was actually, Comcart, go-kart team that I used to race for, which is really cool because they brought me a sick-looking truck. And we actually worked out a deal where there was never any money that exchanged hands. Josh just wanted all new go-kart equipment. So that made it even easier to get them on board, which was super difficult to do that soon to a race. We only had a couple weeks to get where we needed to get. So figuring that out was tough. And those guys all stepping up, it's I could shout them out. John Giacomelli, John Bonato, like Justin Stefani, Jim Giacomelli, all those guys stepping up to help me after watching me grow up in racing was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no. Oh gosh, your story is so cool. I did some research words obviously before this, so I want to make sure I got things straight. But your story is so unique, and I want to thank you for sharing it. And hopefully, if you want to make another truck start, if you really want to, hopefully that opportunity is out there for you. But doing great things on and off the track. So thank you for sharing your story. I hope you don't mind if we move on to another segment.
Yeah.
Are you wanting to join in on some opinions?
I'll join in on a couple opinions. I do have a roommate though who I kicked out because I said I gotta join this. Gotta join this.
Oh, good.
I'm sharing a room with another mechanic here. But yeah, let's do a few opinions and then I'll hop off and I'll get out of here.
All right, I'll let you join in on the silly season opinions here because I think you might have some interesting takes or maybe just some fun opinions on this. Kylie, do I see you on the comments? Hello, thank you for joining the show. So first off, announced today, this is the newest edition. Before I go to the thing that like totally flipped my world upside down, Ty Dillon announced that he is leaving Petty GMS after this season. The question is, folks, what we're going to talk about, what you guys can talk about in the comments. Where is he going to go? Now, there's an obvious answer to this, but I'm curious if we can come up with some. Well, maybe not an obvious answer, but like there's one that makes sense a little bit. But where do you guys think he's going to go? If he's going to go out of the 42? Also, Steven, by the way, another comment. Becca Snyder says she is very proud of you.
Thank you, Becca. Love you.
We have to throw that in there. Thank you, Becca, for commenting.
Becca is actually PJ's significant other.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So she's lovely too. She made some things happen. Let me tell you. I don't know if she wants me to talk about it on a live stream, but she made some big things happen to get that figured out for PJ. So that's commitment right there. I remember talking to them about the logistical issues of figuring that out. But yeah, if you want me to, I'll go first if you want my Ty Dillon opinion.
Give me your opinion. Go for it.
Nepotism, man. It's going to show. I'm telling you right now. I would not. We've seen it. Listen, we've seen it. Tyler Reddick's outperformed Austin Dillon consistently in the 8 car, the same equipment. Austin Dillon will never lose that ride. I would not be surprised to see Ty go to the whatever car they decide to name it. The problem is the lag year, right? There's a lag year now.
Yes.
But with the way, as a driver and as somebody who's worked on plenty of race teams, I cannot imagine that is a comfortable situation for anybody at RCR. Knowing that they basically said, I'm done with you. Get the hell out. I'm going to go to Toyota and leave Chevy as a whole. Not just RCR. I'm going to leave Chevrolet. Like, let me get out of here. I don't see it as a likely situation, but I would not be shocked if in the end there's a way that That
Comment is gold.
that's tough. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough, man. I would not see a way. I see a way that they get Reddick out of that seat next year, because it's just going to be so awkward. I mean, what if they go on and win a championship? What if Reddick figures it out and they make it to championship four and they win Phoenix, and then you just announced you're leaving that team?
The timing of that announcement, I've been trying to figure it out. I think, and then us in the group chat too have been trying to figure out why announce it this early. And part of it is like 23XI wants to jump on the bandwagon of Tyler Reddick just won. We're going to get a winner to our team. That's perfect for them. But where Reddick is now, I don't know if they thought this through. I don't know if he thought through the announcement. Obviously, I agree with RCR when they say the timing could not have been worse. It could not have been worse. Like if he said, what if he figures it out? Then the morale is gone. And even then, I don't know if he's going to have the opportunity to figure it out because the focus is somewhere else. The morale is gone. It's a little awkward. I mean, he doesn't really have a chance to succeed anymore. So I can see them keeping him next year. I mean, there's the option on his contract, but now it's a little awkward. I don't do any of you, Dom or Adam, do you see Reddick not going back to RCR in the 2023 season? Like they just are like, nah, no thanks.
You
what?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Do I have to go? Okay. All right. Okay. It's my turn.
I've been talking for the past 46 minutes and 59 seconds.
Hey, nice to meet
you.
Nice to meet you, Stephen, by the way.
Nice to meet you too.
Congratulations on all you said.
Yeah, sorry. I guess I just kind of jumped in and started railing. That sort of happens sometimes.
No,
you're good. We love it though. We love it.
This is such a unique situation because, the one thing I compare to, this is not like the Casey Kane Hendricks situation where you knew you were getting a guy with boatloads of talent to come to your team, but he had to do the lag year with Red Bull so Mark Martin could finish his contract out. It's like, but you knew you were getting a very, very good prospect coming. So for Ty, they can't do that with Ty Dillon, I don't think. And I don't see RCR even if the answer is Ty Dillon to bring him back into the family, I don't see them running a third entry that full season just to guarantee him a ride in 24. It's very, very interesting. And the one thing too, I've always thought would be very cool. I mean, obviously now it's just, they just want to announce it when they want to announce it, or it's the concept of as soon as the deal is done, let's break the news. But I mean, my phone I can't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. It was blowing up all day because the NHL had its free agency day, and that was the day everything got announced. And so I think that would be cool. End of the season, maybe sometime in December, just the entire free agency lineup is set, and everybody finds out on the same day who's going where.
It's kind of like getting your school schedule. I don't know if your school probably ran this way, but like you pick up your school schedule like 9 a.m. on like a Monday morning, ready for the next semester, the next school year when you're in like elementary school, middle school, whatever. It feels like that. That'd be kind of fun, I think.
Yeah, it's like especially in grade school too. When I don't know if you guys had a meet the teacher day, but it was like the week before school. You go and see, number one, who your teacher is. Number two, who your classmates are. Who's going to be in your homeroom?
Part.
Oh, yeah. It's like, number one, did I get the good teacher? And number two, number one, did I get the good teacher? Number two, are the Allied powers still together?
Yes. Yeah, no, that's the big thing. And in case you guys didn't also catch the news, I didn't like specifically say this, but Tyler Reddick to 23XI Racing in 2024 is the plan. If you missed that, I don't know if we missed
my whole thing about that is like, what is the appeal to 23XI? Because they're mid-pack at best right now.
Something's up.
It's just
there's something brewing.
Honestly, I honestly think they're in the position where they're offering these guys money they can't turn down.
That was my thought. Steven, I don't know what your thought process is. I know you got to go, but if you want to chime in on that, what's the appeal?
I actually don't think 23XI is a mid-pack team.
Okay.
I think they have been.
I like where this is going.
Just extremely like so many things have happened that have worked against them, and you got to remember too, the moving parts to put together a race team are massive. So
Let alone
this
a
year
cup team.
they threw it together, right? And now they're meshing all these cogs of very talented people. But they're still working out the kinks. And we've seen it time and time again where mistakes have killed this team, more so Bubba Wallace than Kurt Busch.
Yeah.
And I listen, I think that as a driver, Bubba Wallace needs to improve a little bit, but he also has shown some real potential at some points in his career. His super speedway racing these past few events has been pretty incredible. He's been really, really good. And he's had some super strong runs. He's had some super strong runs ruined by mistakes that were totally out of his control. Yes. And I think if you factor those into account as to what he's doing at this brand new race team, that's something that's got to be factored in. Obviously, Kurt Busch has won this year, but Wallace won last year. They're in their second year. It's the 45 is a whole new race car. They've doubled their operation. I expect them to again buy another charter if it were up to me.
That is what I would think too.
So I actually think Richard Childress Racing, the potential is known. The operation has been what it's been for 15 years now, and it hasn't really moved up and down in either direction. 2311 is a subsidiary basically of Joe Gibbs Racing, and pretty much has the potential to be, I think, a bigger version of Front Row. Not Front Row, Furniture Row. Sorry. There we go.
Yeah, Furniture Row.
Yeah.
Yep. You got it.
You got it. You're good.
Got all these. It's late. It's 10 o'clock.
You're good. It's like me in these streams. At this time, my brain just goes a little bit. You're good.
Yeah. So
I agree. I agree with all of that. No, I think it's like Kansas showed what a flawless day for 2311 looks like.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
If they can be flawless, they will be top 10 every race.
But it's borderline sexy, even holy woo!
You're not wrong.
Somebody better get the AC cranking. It's getting hot in here. When you see
get your Dr. Pepper, folks.
Rails.
All about that action, boss. All about that action.
Yeah, I mean, holy moly! And I don't know. That's how I feel about the 2311 situation. And I am personally not a big fan of Denny Hamlin, but I think bringing somebody like Michael Jordan into the sport, pairing him with what is an icon in motorsports, a monumental driver, and an ex-champion. You're doing those two things. So, obviously, we all know Bubba Wallace is the face of NASCAR. He is a trailblazer. He's breaking down barriers. And a champion on the same team. I mean, that is something that I would like to see succeed, even though I'm not a Toyota guy. I know I drove a Toyota at Mid-Ohio, but it's something that I hope that they figure it out, and I hope to see them all succeed. It's just a matter of putting the pieces together, man. That's all it is. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I know you got to get going. I appreciate you being on the show, Steven. We'll have to have you on again if you ever want to join the regular show anytime. You know where to reach me, but thank you so much for sharing your story, and we'll talk to you soon, bud.
Of course, guys. It was a pleasure meeting you all, and
congrats again, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I've never thought I'd be so proud of a 22nd place in my life.
And you are such a race car driver for your debut finishing top 25 and being mad you didn't finish 18th. That is such a race car thing to do.
I know. My old man said the same thing. Yeah. He's like, come on. You've never driven a manual at a road. You can hardly downshift, and now you finished 22nd. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I guess you're right, Dad. So, yeah. Guys, thanks for having me on. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Have a good night. Season fun. Gosh, thanks again for Steven for joining. Loved having him on. We need to go through your comments. As we go through, there's been a lot of comments I got to go through.
It's about $30 worth of the swear jar.
Okay, let's see. Here we go. Was it Rob? When Rob Brading first joined the show, he dropped the MF bomb.
He dropped the mother of all.
Yeah.
And we were
What
like,
a cluster. Yeah.
So yeah. The swear jar is full tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Send me the bill, FCC. I'll pay it.
Yeah. Luckily, I think like on YouTube, I'm like, it's marked for like not kids, so I think we'll be fine. You all have heard worse, I'm sure. It's all good. We appreciate Steven.
Audiences only.
the word of tonight. Oh my god. Yeah, but no, that was so much fun. We'll have to have him on again. I'm sure we will.
Why is Above the Yellow Line rated TV 14?
I know.
No, we go straight to TV, buddy.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna have to ask Steven that. Oh my god. All right, you guys, your comment. We're going to still about silly season, then we'll move on to some other things. I know, Dom, I want to talk about your time at Atlanta, too, and bring Adam in as well on that. Even though Adam was watching from home. Dom was at the track. I was watching from home with Atlanta. But
Adam, before Jeff Gordon says hi, Adam. Just want to let you know that.
Oh,
oh, God. Well, so let's just go through the comments. I'm just going to scroll through them. Whatever one I see that stands out, we'll put on the screen and we'll talk about it a little bit more. So Gabe, right off the bat. Okay, so you can see Ty going to the Xfinity Series, the 48 car in Xfinity.
Yeah, the big machine car. That's not a bad move.
Yeah.
That's not a bad move, especially the way, Tyler Reddick. That's a good thing, though, because that's a good benchmark, because Tyler Reddick has proven you can win in that race car. So if Ty Dillon can go out there and win in it, because remember, Ty Dillon did, I want to say 3 to 4 years full time in Xfinity and only got one win, and that was Indianapolis 2014. So, I mean, he had a good shot at the truck title in both 12 and 13, had a good shot to win the nationwide title in 14. I am going to be brand specific here. Had a shot to win the nationwide title in 14, had a shot to win the Xfinity title in 15, but it's
just didn't get it.
I don't know. I think that would be great. I agree with Gabe that Ty going to the 48 car would be a good move, because Tyler Reddick is now the benchmark at Richard Childress Racing. It's like, if you can do what he does or better, we'll put you in the 8 car, which I also think they should put Ty, if they're going to move someone else to that car, make it the 33 or the 30, bring the 31 back. I know that Colleague has it now, but Mike Skinner was in that 31 car, Jeff Burton, Robbie Gordon. That's an RCR number, if you ask me.
I mean, and if you really wanted to, if Ty was to go to RCR, if you wanted to make him feel like he was at home, bring the 13 back. I mean, that was the last car he was in the Cup Series before this.
Stop it. That was a Germain car.
No, don't do that car. No.
Anywho,
Germain on that number.
Next comment. The two nerds, you said, if Bubba doesn't get his things going, he will probably get booted out 23. There is no way. That team was formed around him. I'm sorry, I don't see that.
That team was built with Bubba in mind specifically.
Yeah.
He got Julio Jones to go to the race at Atlanta. I mean, he's going to bring that kind of publicity, that kind of popularity to his. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, was he irrelevant in the Atlanta race? Yeah, he pretty much was. But his hauler was packed all weekend, full of publicity, full of guests, special guests that they had for the event, all the PR and whatnot. Like it was packed. So, I mean, he's going to bring in that kind of money. You're not going to let him walk. Then again, Gibbs is about to do that with Kyle Busch. So
that's God. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. I have just strong opinions.
But again, like I say, like my theory of how 2311 snagged Reddick is they gave him a number he couldn't say no to. Is they've got the money to do it. Gibbs does not have the money for Kyle Busch right now.
Right.
Because this is the only multiple-time champion in the sport, and he has the right to ask to be the highest paid in the sport, if that's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
I would make him the highest paid driver in the sport, hands down. If not him, Larson. So I don't know. It's tough because of the sponsor issue, and it's like with Larson, he's probably not the highest paid driver, but that's just because he's bringing in sponsorship dollars.
Right. All right. Well, Go to Scully. We'll talk about Kyle Busch in a second. So NASCAR Fantasy Live, you said, I would have to imagine Ty going to 2311 instead of Reddick because he made that one random start for 2311 in the 2020 Clash. Ooh,
That's right.
21.
I remember that.
Right.
Yeah, because he was in the
Roots.
wait.
Was
he in the 54 that year, or was that last year?
No.
No, it was last year. It was 2021.
Okay, so that was the 21 Clash. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was,
they just that my
I got
brain
the
just
wrong.
exploded.
Wow. No, I was just
no.
remembering things.
But that's the
Because
thing.
Ty last year had the couple Xfinity starts with Gibbs in the 54.
Okay, so yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. I'm just figuring things out. We're figuring things out.
That's one of the most bizarre things is that Ty Dillon drove the 54 car in Xfinity last year.
Yeah,
that's just so bizarre to me.
We'll move on.
Mind-boggling.
Minds are being blown.
They couldn't. 2311 wasn't going to go for Ty Dillon because it's just Tyler Reddick has the results, and it was already known he was in a contract year.
Yeah, he's the next big deal for the series.
He's
already a big deal, but like his trajectory is upward compared to a lot of the thing. It's driver availability.
He's reminding me a lot of Larson when he was at Ganassi. It's like he is literally driving this thing beyond what it's worth.
Exactly.
So if they could give him the car, he's going to perform.
All right. Millennium Kenobi, I hope I'm saying that is right. Okay. Said I could see him going the route of Matty D with a truck ride or going to the 48 in Xfinity, which he's in this weekend, and go more the route of Dinger and Allgaier. See, I mean, my process
be a good audition. I didn't know he was in the 48 this weekend. That'll be a good audition.
Yeah. So I read Bob Hawcrest tweeted this, and because somebody asked, why would Ty leave like a top tier ride, something like that, just a ride in the Cup Series. And according to Bob, it seemed like the relationship with Petty and GMS with Ty wasn't working out, not really vice versa. Is kind of what I got from that. So does he have another seat in the Cup Series? For me, no. I think his best bet is he's going to have to move down again and probably do like a Matt DiBenedetto with, getting a truck ride, which Matt isn't doing that bad this year. I do want to share this story real quick. Because we're gonna talk about our weekends in a second, but I got to interview Matt DiBenedetto over the weekend, and that was really cool. I met him on Friday. Casey Campbell.
Going nuts about this.
Oh my God, I was so excited. But Casey Campbell introduced me to him. If you guys don't know Casey Campbell, he has his own YouTube channel. Check it out. On Friday. And then Saturday, I went up and met his PR rep, Monty, super cool guy. And I was like, hey, can I interview Matt? And he was like, well, our schedule's, really tight because, they were doing the Truck Series autograph session that morning. And he was like, can you walk and talk? And I was like, I can do that. Sure. And then the session was about to end, and Monty taps me on the shoulder. He's like, hey, can we just ride in the golf cart? I was like, fine. He's like, you and Matt can sit in the middle row and just talk. And I'm like, so we were literally sitting right next to each other in a golf cart as I interviewed him. Like, literally, his face is right here, probably. And I had like my camera up, and right in the background was another race going on. So the audio is total garbage, like at the beginning of the interview. Like, it's crunchy, it's gross. It's makes your ears bleed. But it was cool that Matt was willing to do that and allowed me to interview him and ask him some questions about his season. So very appreciative of that. It was a very cool moment for me, just, first time doing media for a race, and a moment I will not forget. And then afterwards we had a conversation about his dog, Brian, one of the coolest dog names ever. And also, Family Guy reference a little bit.
Brian Griffin.
Yeah. So it was the coolest thing. Ryan. You guys can tell what shows we watch. Oh God. But yeah, so let's see. Any other comments that I feel like I should highlight, because I really want to talk about the last week and then preview this week in a little bit. Let's see. Seriously, Fast Media, got to bring you up. It would be a poor business decision to boot Tyler, but yes, I do see the possibility of them sending him out the door. This is talking about 2023. As for Ty, I could see a season in Xfinity for pop-up and moving to Cup. So kind of like what he did last year a little bit, kind of running one-offs or even Truck Series or stuff like that. But I feel like it would be poor to move Ty, but again, it's awkward.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any tinfoil?
Oh boy. I don't like where this is
I'm
going.
about to unleash it. I'm about to unleash something that I think might or could happen.
Let's
All right.
bookmark this so we remember it for the future. So when it does happen,
Yes.
we have our above the line folder with video clips of us predicting the future, and sometimes we're right, sometimes. But Adam,
most of the times I'm wrong, but this would be interesting.
Go for it, my guy.
I don't like where this is going.
I don't either.
I got a bad feeling about this.
If you say Kyle Busch to RCR, I'm gonna slap you.
We will both slap you. We will drive to your house.
Kyle's not involved in this one. No. All right.
Okay, cool.
So with the current state of Tyler Reddick going to 23-11 in 2024, and next year being all crazy with the 8 car, is he staying? Is he not? And with Ty Dillon not coming back to GMS. Let's spin this picture. All right, so Colleague has the second car, the 16 car. Ty Dillon goes there. Tyler Reddick stays at the 8 car. Noah Gragson goes to the 42.
Because, see, that's what I see being the most possible. Because you guys in the comments also brought up Noah Gragson, and even everyone on Twitter was like, Noah Gragson to the 8, because literally right after they announced the news that Reddick was gone, or going to be gone, Noah Gragson tweeted a smiley face, and I was like, "Oh, that is mysterious." But it makes more sense for him to go to Petty GMS.
There's more to it.
Oh God. Okay, go.
So here comes move the shifting gears. We're going to 2024. So
okay,
Ty Dillon now can go from the 16 car, if Colin keeps that number, and jumps to the 8 car for 2024. Anybody picking up?
Ty Dillon.
No.
So Ty Dillon
goes
to Colleague in 23, RCR 24. Gragson commits to Petty GMS.
Yes.
That's bold.
I see Gragson committing to Petty GMS. I still don't see both Dillons on the same team at RCR.
I honestly think Ty Dillon would thrive going down to the Xfinity Series. But
I think so too.
I think
he'd run a lot better in Xfinity.
I don't think he wants to. I think the pride in him does not want to go down. I think he wants to be a Cup Series driver.
And that's the thing too. It's like the one thing that worries me about all this is if let's say Ty Dillon goes back down to Xfinity and he goes to the RCR camp, and Sheldon Creed or Austin Hill's got to either leave or bump up to Cup. And right now, it looks like Austin Hill looks like the prime candidate to do that. But I don't think Austin Hill's ready. I don't think he's ready.
Not. And here's the thing:
he's on his way, but he's not ready.
Because his 2 wins are on super speedways.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, nobody in the younger series, I feel like, is ready to take that next step next year. And that is a problem, and I think that is something that these manufacturers and these teams, as they're developing drivers, they made a gap between the drivers that are in the Cup Series now, the ones that are actually ready, and the ones that aren't. There is I don't know, probably 3 years until I feel like a driver's going to be absolutely ready to make that next step. And that can't be the case because we have like half the field's contracts up next season, if I'm correct, or like something like that, some crazy number. And you're going to be filling seats with Harvick probably retiring. Almirola, we don't even know if he's going to be coming back next year, but after that, he's probably retiring. Kurt Busch maybe retiring.
Do you remember what I told you about Almirola at Saturday during the media bullpen? He was asked that question about is he actively considering 2023, and he said, I'm racing like this is my last
year.
So he is not. He still hasn't changed his mind as of right now.
And there's other rumors too. See, so that's the thing. There's the options on the on the contracts, but there's another rumor too that I've even seen on Twitter that Custer might be gone.
And I just find that so hard to believe, unless they bring the 41 back in Xfinity and he goes back down or takes the 00 and races with Riley Herbst.
Because he did well in the Xfinity race at Road America, and I was like, wow,
he did well in the Xfinity Series. He had 7 wins in 2019.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and then we have let's see, Notorious Bear 48 says they could see Grayson going to GMS,
and he's not ready either.
And he's not ready. I mean, we saw maturity-wise, he's
He
not.
really isn't.
You know, this makes me think, for obvious reasons, back to 09 when Logano replaced Stewart at Gibbs. And the only reason why is because they needed to fill the seat. He had done, the year before, he did part-time in Nationwide, got a win at Kentucky, and they said he was ready to go. And Logano himself has said, I hit my stride in 2013.
Yeah.
5 years after he made his Cup debut. So he was in, he said, was it early? Yeah, I was, but I'm an 18-year-old kid and they're holding the keys of the Cup car in front of me. I'm going to say, yeah, I'm ready. And so they'll put me in. So you're not going to say no, but looking back on it now, I should have did full-time Nationwide before I went to Cup.
Yep.
So
I do like this comment. Bring Jeff Green back to the 30. Honestly,
is AOL still out there?
Give him a ring.
I can hear the dial-up sound already.
Yeah,
now here's something interesting. Now Eric Jones
the Firefox
said that
car. It would be this time. The Firefox Chevy.
Honestly. Now, Gabe says he sees Eric Jones going to the 10 next year. Now, I think Eric Jones already said that he's working on his contract with Petty GMS, so I don't think that's happening. At least a few weeks ago was what happened. Now, a really good question for us, actually, from Billy88 Joe said, if you're a free agent, where are you going? Are you going to the 10 car or are you going to the 42?
10 car.
10.
There's more stability. That's Stuart Haas.
More funds.
Here's my thing, though. The 10 is an obvious answer. I would say in a heartbeat. But if you are a good enough driver and you are known to elevate equipment that should not and cannot be elevated, take that shot to go to the 42 car and make something of it.
Listen, Taylor, if you're a good driver and you need to elevate equipment, you take the 10 car.
Well, what if you suck and equipment that is supposed to be really good and you're like,
you get a good paycheck and you go home.
Can I just chime in here? So,
yeah, we're leaning into the screen. Is that what we're
finding some of her NASCAR history? The 10 car for Stuart Haas has been racing in Cup since 2012, and it has 2 wins.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
That car needs to be elevated.
I know.
Wow, it has one more win than I thought it had. I only thought it had one. Wow.
Yep. Well, because it was
Hampshire last year, Talladega 2018. That's
right.
The ones.
The bacon car.
God,
yeah.
Vote
right.
for bacon.
Yeah.
Vote for bacon.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I think, just part of me, just the 42, but you know what? That's fine. I've had worse opinions. You guys can chime in on that. I've had much worse opinions. Let's see. What other guys? Thank you for commenting so much. I'm trying to get through all of them, and I'm trying to make sure your guys' voices are heard.
I'm loving all these comments. Not gonna lie.
I know, it makes me happy. Thanks, guys. Okay, so this James, your comment is one I wanted to get to. Anyone else see similarities with Petty and the Wood Brothers, legacy organizations that were really strong for a good bit in the early in early NASCAR that are just meh now?
RCR's on that list too.
Yeah, put RCR.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say put RCR on that list. Do we think that Stewart Haas Racing is going to be on that list?
I mean, that's the thing. It's like
no.
Haven't been there for a while, but still in the future.
I think it's hard to put RCR on that list because they just had one guy that was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, I would also say Petty's the same way but Lee and Richard were so good, and then the Wood Brothers had Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer go into that 21 car and win.
So I don't know. I see the similarities. Let's see what else.
It is crazy though, just to see, but it's just eventually the other teams catch up. That's just the way it is.
Let's see, Benjamin. We got another McDonald's comment. If you guys don't know, if you guys are new to the channel, you guys know I love my McDonald's and fast food. It's bad.
Don't choke, dog.
The way you just ripped that. Oh, nothing here. Another McDonald's comment. My God.
Let me just say, I get so many McDonald's comments, mostly from Casey. I don't know if Casey's watching this, but because
how come we're not getting any Bush comments?
We had one
Did you say Bush?
Where is the Bush series content?
I'm gonna head out. Bye, guys.
Well, the 30 AOL car was pretty close to being a Bush classified car.
Okay, Benjamin.
Oh boy.
Ben, if you want me to send you a link since you're part of the Toby Christie crew, shoot me a text. I got
$30 entry fee.
We have to cover our funds.
We'll probably be on the stream for another 20 minutes. If you want to cover the swear jar fee, Ben, hop on in. But we'll stay on for another 20 minutes. I don't want to go too long because I know it's Friday night. Everyone has things to do.
I like that comment right there.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Which one?
Yeah, seriously fast media. We love you.
Oh, there it is.
That's good enough. We appreciate it.
The nectar of the gods. Oh, yes.
Right.
Yeah, if you want to be Adam's best friend, send
Bush Series
him...
legend Mark Martin. That's it. That's the comment.
The only comment.
That's it. That's the comment. We're done right there.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
Bring back Grand National. Get that trending.
Oh,
Bush Grand National. BGNA. Yep.
Ben, we'll have to have you on next week. I think I'm going to do a gaming stream. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do that again. But Ben, we're going to have you on. I know you got opinions, my friend. We want to hear them. Let's see what else. Danica drove the 10 car. Yes. Wood Brothers Blaney. Okay. Here's a good comment. Gabe always with the good comments here. Wood Brothers Blaney, Penske Blaney. They're eras, folks.
They are definitely split.
One of them was allowed to grow their hair out.
The pain. Oh, I gotta fix my.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, that was also a Ryan Blaney that was trying to prove himself that he belonged.
Hold up. Is everyone muted? What's happening?
No.
Oh, come on. Okay, you guys keep talking.
Okay.
I'm gonna figure out what's happening. Go ahead. Have fun.
All right. Hi, Adam.
Hey, Dom. How are you, buddy?
So we want to welcome everybody to the Bush Grand National Show. So
yes.
I've been wanting to talk about this. Listen, I think the Reese's 21 car may have been one of the greatest cars of the 2000s. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
It's right up there, along with the one-offs that Dale Jr. would run at Daytona.
The Daytona Oreo cars. No, I agree.
Yes.
I agree
Daytona
wholeheartedly.
Oreo cars are goated for our seat.
We have a special guest. We have a special guest joining here on the Bush Grand National Show. Taylor Hitton is now with us.
Taylor, how are you doing tonight?
Guys, I'm doing great. I'm so glad to be here. I've never done one of these.
No.
What?
Oh no, okay, I can hear you.
Mute her.
Yeah, no, yeah, I hear you. I hear you now.
You're good.
Panic. This microphone. So let me tell you guys. I got this microphone. December of last year, something like that. That ladies and gentlemen, it is.
This is the mascot that
The
was yelling
unofficial
at me.
mascot.
Reese's 21 goated. Kylito, you are the best.
We love
Yes,
Kylito.
Yeah.
On the Bush Grand National Show.
Bush Grand National.
Oh my goodness. Let's see what else. Oh hey, Adam, if you're gonna be in Michigan, by the way, Seriously Fast Media has 3 cases.
Oh man.
See, now you have to see me at Michigan. I'll be at Michigan, by the way, if you guys don't know that. So we'll have to plan a meetup. Oh, here we go.
I thought hipsters called it a tweet up.
See, here's the thing. Tweet up is Bob Pockrass's thing.
Oh God.
I feel like okay, so I recognize you. All right, I recognize these people from Twitter. Nerf detector. Commented on so many of my things, but I appreciate you joining the chat here. I'm hoping Loudon is the anomaly of flat tracks this year, and we get a fantastic race with the next gen car. Although Gateway was decent, I'm hoping so too. I really am. I
think Loudon is so underrated because even with the COT and the beginning of the Gen 6 era, it was good. It was a good racetrack because it was you either went the completely flat line or the slightly banked line, and both you had advantage on both. And just restarts were so good because they would be 2x2 for a good 5 laps because nobody could get an advantage on each other. So it was such good racing.
Momo, thank you for a super sticker. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support.
Oh, paying off the debt.
$29 to go. Woo!
If you guys want to help pay off the swear jar, just kidding. No, you guys don't have to. But no, I appreciate that, Momo.
We also need signatures to petition to rename it the Bush Grand National again.
We're starting. Me and Dom are officially starting a petition.
It's just like I just don't get it. Busch is back in the sport, and they're one of the title sponsors for the Cup Series. Like, just commit.
God,
I'm so tired of hearing the drivers saying my car was as fast as Xfinity Internet. It's just cringy. I can't stand it.
Should I?
Just the Busch group. Yeah, bring them up. Do it.
Do it.
Busch Grand.
Bring them up, baby.
Not a sponsor.
Bring back the Busch Series, please.
Oh my God. No. Yeah, that'd be awesome. We support it here at Above the Line. This crew does. We'd love to see Busch back in the sport for sure. Oh, Friday night party. Woo, let's go. Friday night party. I'm not much of a partier, so that was awkward. Sorry, guys. But all right, let's preview this weekend.
We're gonna delete that in post.
Let's delete it in post. I'm like, yeah, there are things I do in the stream where I'm like, I just want to not. Okay, so previewing this weekend in the comments below. Do you guys have predictions? Anything you want to talk about this weekend? You guys want to ask us questions about race coverage? Dom, I need to ask you now because I've said it like 5,000 times. How was covering the race in Atlanta?
It was pretty good. All right, we're out of time, so we'll talk to you. No, it was awesome. It was definitely awesome. I was really, really worried on Saturday because during the whole bullpen session, it was pouring outside.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, here we go. Sure enough, I come back to the track and it's rain out. But I was amazed. It stopped and they were able to get the Xfinity race in on time. And then Sunday was a perfect day. And everybody was cool. Met a lot of cool people. Yeah, it was a blast.
Kylito, thank you so much for your comment. I appreciate it.
You're our sponsor.
Kylito, you are our sponsor. Yes. Thank you so much. Oh my God. So no, I'm glad you had a great time and you got us really great content, really great driver interviews. Really, there's one from Blaney that I'm going to be putting up before the SRX race that you got us, Dom. Talking about his start going against his dad in that race.
Yeah, he's super pumped. He is super pumped about it. That's the best part about it.
So that'll be cool. But yeah, so hopefully we'll all be going to more races. Like I said, what was that, Adam?
I said our buddy Blaney. He really is a buddy.
I know.
I've got Talladega in the crosshair.
Hey, I think the smart drivers go. Hey,
execute that.
Yes.
Let's go.
So we have. Oh my goodness. So we're not sponsored by Busch Beer, you guys, but we might as well be right now. Thank you so much. Seriously, pass me. Yeah. You guys are killing me in the comments. Thank you.
Absolutely awesome.
Thank you guys. But no, yeah, I'll be at Michigan. We'll plan on doing a meetup for something. I won't be covering it for media. Next media race I'm covering, I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking of doing one more though this season. Stay tuned for that. Dom, are you doing another one?
I'm in the works of Talladega. It's not confirmed, but I'm in the works for Talladega.
Cannot confirm nor deny, but get ready, folks. And then Rob Braining would have been here tonight, but he is actually covering some of the action on an assignment in Loudon this weekend. So that'll be very cool and excited to get see the photography that he does. Let's see. Other comments. Any questions, comments, concerns, you guys? Let's see. The two nerds. Question: when do you think Ty Gibbs will get his first start in Cup? Well, sooner than I think I would like, is my opinion. But
he'll get his first start next year, and it'll be with. I'm trying to think if there's any other Toyota teams other than Gibbs in 2311. I can't remember off the top of my head. Is there another one?
I think that's it for this year, right?
Is that it?
That's all. That's it.
Excuse me.
So, and I don't know. Then I mean, they have brought the 81 car out a time or two, so I could see them running the 81 for him in a Cup car. I don't think they'll bring him to 2311.
No, unless they do like an unchartered like third car like surprise one-off race. I don't.
Surprise.
Want to edit that out in post, bud?
Yeah, no, I think I can see him running the 81 or something like that. I don't think they'll go to 2311 because somehow, some way, Denny Hamlin will get his hands on him.
No, that's valid. And as we know, what Denny Hamlin wants, Denny Hamlin gets. We've seen the press conference.
If it's not next year in a part-time basis, it's full-time in the 18. That's unfortunately.
I was about to say. I think we're gonna find out very soon what's happening with Kyle Busch, and that's going to determine what happens with Ty.
And if I can speak directly to Toyota real quick. Toyota, if you're listening to me, listen up. If you somehow, for some odd reason, drop Kyle Busch, one of the winningest drivers of this generation, one of the best drivers, arguably, of this generation, I do not know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, because that is a major mistake. One, we need, and as Steven mentioned earlier, we need to stop. Obviously, Ty Gibbs is talented, but stop putting drivers in the Cup Series because they got all the money. You also have to have the talent. You have to have the maturity. And I don't see that yet from Ty Gibbs. I see the talent. I don't see the maturity. And if we're putting somebody in way too soon, you inflate the ego, you make them do crazy moves, crazy things, and you're not going to gain respect on the track. I don't think Ty Gibbs should go in the Cup Series, maybe earliest 2024. But I feel like he needs to do his due in the other series. It's way too soon. My thing, he shouldn't do it. Makes me angry. It's a subject makes me angry. But if they lose Kyle Busch, I'm gonna be pissed, you guys. Not gonna lie.
Oh, I will be too. And it's just it's the whole concept of how do you let the best guy in the sport walk?
And I don't even know how. How do you sleep at night knowing you let the best guy in the sport walk?
It's just, and I'm thinking too, but and again, it's just the problem is they can't. They got to get sponsors. Denny will be in Ty's ear like Palpatine to Vader before you know it. Boom, Ty Gibbs in car number 4.
See, you know we're Star Wars people here,
in 2024.
Good. Let the hate flow.
Oh God. So let's see. Oh, another good. Well, first off, the two nerds you've been at. I think you asked this question. Go ahead, Dom.
Can you teach me these powers?
God.
Not from a Jedi.
Not from a Gibbs driver.
Somebody make that a meme. Put it on Twitter. Tag us in it. If you do that, bless. Let's see. We don't really talk IndyCar on this channel, or at least not like this channel, but like on Above the Yellow Line. But I guess a good question to ask.
So awesome.
Who wins Indy?
Oh, and my gut call is Colton Herta.
I was gonna say Colton Herta.
I looked. I can pull it up right now as we speak. All I saw was that Alexander Rossi was fastest in practice, which shows that Andretti's got speed. But one thing I never knew is how rough that surface is. I mean, it is a course, I get it, but man, that track is rough.
No, it's wild.
Did I cut out?
You were like all wonky for like.
You were spacey.
Okay, yeah, sorry. But I was just, I'm just shocked. I mean, it is a street course, I get it, but that track is rough.
No, it is.
It's
wild.
Yeah.
And part of me feels like that's where.
I think Newgarden gets the win.
So
why?
If I watch the race, he'll win. Almost every race I've watched this year, it's either been Newgarden or McLaughlin, and obviously Marcus Ericsson. But like every race that I've watched, it's been those three.
So I'll give you the quick top 10 just so we know where everybody's at from practice. Just
go for it.
So from 1st to 10th, it's Alexander Rossi, Simon Pagenaud, Graham Rahal, Marcus Ericsson, Joseph Newgarden. That's your top 5. That's 4 Hondas, 1 Chevrolet. Then it's Felix Rosenqvist, Colton Herta 7th, Scott Dixon 8th, Will Power 9th, Alex Palou 10th. And then for the NASCAR fans, there's 25 drivers entered. Jimmy Johnson was 24th. It hurts.
That hurts.
But
it's
right off. I mean, that's right off the bat. It's Honda. If you're gonna bet the race, bet on Honda.
No, that's where I'm at. I think I gotta agree with Dom on this one. I think Colton Herta has it. My thoughts, at least from what I've been able to watch this season, he's been fast.
Colton's got good hands.
Adam, you and I talked about this in the group chat, and one thing that I can 100% see happening is with Herta going to McLaren. Isn't that correct? Herta's going to McLaren?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is a power move to get him to Formula One.
Yes.
And I would love to see Herta in an F1 car because I've started to become a Herta fan solely because
like him.
Well, it was the Nashville race for me. The street race at Nashville.
That was it for me too.
He drove that car so hard. It broke my heart to see him wreck. And that was just because he was driving the wheels off the thing. He was driving like Verstappen, Schumacher, Hamilton. I'm going to take this thing to the limit and beyond, and whatever happens, happens. I'm a race car driver. I didn't come here to finish second. And that's the other thing is like McLaren is now becoming the super team because they've got Herta, Alex Palou, as Gabe says. Alex Palou's going to McLaren, which why?
Yep.
Why are they just because that's the thing. You're putting way too many egos in one room. You're putting way too many egos in one room, and that's not going to help. Because I mean, my number one comparison: Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg. Those two were so good, and that whole teammate was compact, was completely blown out the water.
Yep.
To the point where they don't even talk to each other now.
So the comments are saying, so Alex Palou is going to McLaren, not Herta, is what the comments are saying.
No, they're both
going.
Are they both?
Yeah,
okay.
It's Pato O'Ward, Colton Herta, and Alex Palou because they're going to be a 3-car team next year.
Gotcha.
What about Rosenqvist?
I don't think Rosenqvist is coming back.
Let me see.
Is that right?
Ladies and gents, let's do our research. While we're doing our research, let's talk a little bit about. Okay, both are going. I think Gabe said both are going.
Yeah, I think
I don't want to be wrong.
I will say Dom and Adam are usually never wrong. If anyone's wrong, it's going to be me like 99% of the time.
Here,
I think
just give me like some NASCAR trivia. I got to get the confidence back.
Back in 1972, who won the
Sagittarius?
There you go. Sagittarius won the first Winston Cup race. Yes.
All right, let's close it out. We'll do a few more questions and we'll close it out for the night. One comment that I would love to talk about because I got to talk to Justin Marks last weekend, which honestly made my life. It's who do you see driving for the 91 next year? So I will say, just kind of to preface this, Marks' goal for this year is to just have Watkins Glen and then build up to do every single road course on the 2023 schedule. After we talked to his thoughts on chartering the car, because I know that's a question Adam had, is if they were going to charter the car, kind of leave it as a show car. Maybe in the future, their plan is going to be to charter, but right now their focus is just on what the Project 91 car is intended to do at the moment. So, with that being said, we threw names around before as to who we'd like to see do the Project 91 car when we were making our fantasy teams. And I don't know if Dom was here for that, but I guess if we could all just throw out a driver who we'd like to see in the 91 car, let's throw out some drivers, champions, winners, drivers that have expressed interest. Dom, do you got somebody?
I'm not going to put any current F1 drivers in there just for the sake of they're under contract and they've got to focus on their F1 stuff. But
Valid.
Be cool to see Montoya back in the Cup car.
Okay, yeah.
I think Montoya in a Cup car again would be cool, especially in a competitive road course built race car. That'd be sweet to see him run Watkins Glen, Sonoma again, or Circuit of the Americas.
Yes.
I'd like to see that. And another one that kind of intrigues me, Dixon. Scott Dixon would be a cool one.
He was going to be mine. He's going to be my pick. I would love to see that.
And I don't see Jimmy Johnson coming back for a road course race. If he's coming back, it's for the Daytona 500 or something like that.
And
or if they go back to the Indianapolis Oval.
Yeah, which we should. NASCAR, come on.
Yeah. Chase Briscoe agrees.
Yes. Chase Briscoe agrees. We all agree. Words are hard at like 10:30 at night. My God. But Adam, who do you see?
I want Jordan Taylor. Let's see Jordan Taylor.
Okay, that'd be good.
From the Corvette program. I think that'd be a intriguing battle. I mean, he's always wanting and always fooling around with some of the NASCAR guys. Mr. Rodney Sandstorm.
He's got those road courses down like the back of his hand. So
he does.
Yeah.
Seeing him at Watkins Glen would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Or even seeing him run the Roval, I think that'd be interesting too.
I think a good one, also mentioned in the comments by a few of you, Helio Castroneves would be a good one. I think
Helio.
Yeah, Helio. So,
well, I mean, hasn't he won a ride now through his winning
SRX?
He has, yes.
So
he's won a NASCAR ride.
I think I was listening to the.
So he probably will get a ride next year. Then he'll probably be one of them.
He'll get one of those races.
If he's not, that'd be a disappointment because I think he should. Oh, Marcus Ambrose, another
Marcus,
one.
oh, see, that would be good. I would love to
Yes.
see him come back for Watkins Glen.
Yes.
Justin Marks, are you taking notes?
People don't realize, like, yeah, he got his 2 cup wins at Watkins Glen, but he owned that racetrack in the Nationwide.
Oh, yeah.
Legit. That was his track.
He won, what, 3 in a row and then, like, another 2 or something like that after that. So, like, he owned Watkins Glen when he drove that 59 STP car.
Can I just throw a wild card out there?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Throw a wild card.
All right.
If you say Mika Hakkinen.
I don't think Uncle Mika would come. All right. This is not, I don't even know if this is a shot in the dark. It probably would not happen, not in a million years, but Robbie Gordon.
Oh, God.
That wouldn't happen. That would not happen.
I know. I want it to happen, but I know it won't happen.
No.
Yeah. Oh. Well,
we're talking about personality, guys. Full of it.
Too much of it.
God. No. I don't think I want to see. I don't want to see that. Let's see. Oh, here's another one. Oh,
Daniel Kvyat. Oh, God.
He
was
at
God. We have some interesting names we threw around. I think we're gonna have to close this out, you guys.
I bet you Ricardo eventually gets in it too.
So he was going to be the one I said. I said him before when I chose like my fantasy team that we talked about a few weeks ago. But if he doesn't get the ride,
especially if Watkins Glen lands during F1's summer break, I bet you he does it.
I think he should. I mean, come on, he's a big fan. Gotta get him in. But you guys, we'll discuss a lot more next week or the week after. Not really sure yet what I'm going to do as the schedule is ever fluctuating. But thank you guys so much for joining.
We'll be back when we tell you we'll be back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll be back when we'll tell you we'll be back.
Next week will be the Bush stream.
Oh, my God. The day that happens. You know what? Here. Okay,
the Bush Grand National Show. Yes.
If there is a stream, if there's a stream that I cannot make, I will gladly let you guys have the stream, and you guys can go ahead with that. I give you my blessing.
The Bush Grand National Show.
Probably the worst idea of my life, but you know what? You guys heard it here first.
I don't know if you want to commit to that right now, Taylor.
What have I done? Okay, that's fine. All right, so
I've got notebooks of content we could talk about.
Yes. Let us go back to 1982.
Oh my God. Yeah, so we'll
Adam, tell me a little bit about Jack Ingram.
Figure it out. Oh my God.
Yes, old Iron Jack Ingram, yes. Used to battle it out with Sam Ard. Yes.
So basically, we'll see you next week, as Dark Detector is saying, on the Bush Grand National podcast. Well, you guys should just make that a podcast idea. What are you guys doing? Write something down.
I ain't got no
Do a
damn
podcast.
money.
Let's go, you guys.
Hey, we're trying to pay off the swear jar. I mean, we're still, we gotta pay the swear jar off first.
Yeah, we gotta pay the swear jar off.
Help us next podcast that we do, pay off the swear jar. We need your help, you guys. But thank you so much for joining for this episode or live stream of Above the Yellow Line. Make sure to check us out on our social media pages, Above the Yellow Line, wherever you get your podcasts. Also Instagram and YouTube, TobyChristy.com, where you're following us right now. And if you're not subscribed, you should be. So hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, comments, whatever you can do on YouTube, do it. And then my Twitter personally is @_Taylor Kitchen_. We do post-race polls, daily questions, lots of fun things. We'll have to do I don't know. We'll come up with a question for this week. Adam, what is your social media handles where they can find you?
You find beautiful people can find me at Twitter and at Instagram @alucas9166.
So unnecessarily sexual. Okay, Dom, give me your social media.
So I'm at DomJoseph22 on Twitter and Instagram.
And Tiny making her very tiny appearance.
She came to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Tiny. We love you, Tiny.
then you guys, of course, like I said, wherever you find your podcast, you can find the weekly show Above the Yellow Line. We'll probably have to put these live streams on. You know what? I'll work on that. I'll put the live streams on if you guys want to listen to them on the go. But finally, of course, we got to thank our sponsors for Above the Yellow Line, Toby Christie Zyloware. Great way to get your glasses without having to go into your eye doctor to get them. And then Haymaker Coffee, some kick-ass coffee, if I do say so myself. So make sure you thank the sponsors with us. Check out their products. But that is all we have for this live stream. So I appreciate y'all joining in. And until next time, we'll see ya. Bye, guys.